Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
And hello and welcome to a very big day for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We have been around since May of last year as a stream show on YouTube and on the WKYC Plus app. But today we are making our Cleveland broadcast debut on Channel 3. We will be here every Friday from 12:30 to 1 throughout the football season. And coming up, I'm Jay Crawford. We're all going to tell you what we're giving Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson for his 28th birthday. Bull?
Jay, right now I'm going to tell everybody out there, welcome. Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. If you've never seen us before, this is going to be a treat. This is the best sports entity in all of Cleveland. I love this show. We all love this show, and you will too. Hi, everybody. G. Bush.
I'm G. Bush, the people's champ, and I'm going to tell you why Deshaun Watson is going to deliver $230 million worth of plays Monday night against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jason?
And I'm Jason Lloyd. I'm going to tell you why the Browns' defensive line is the key to the game on Monday night in Pittsburgh. Mikey?
My name's Mike. I go by McNuggets, and I think I'm the first McDonald's dollar menu item to ever make it on linear television in Cleveland. Let's get into it, guys.
Very well said. So a brief, quick introduction to the show if you don't know. We're every day 11 to 1 live on YouTube. We've brought the show to Channel 3. We want to spread our reach. We've done incredibly well as a YouTube show. We want to bring this show to an even larger audience. If you like us here, you can find us every Monday through Friday, 11 to 1 live. Or the beauty of our show, you can just go to UCSS and you can watch us on demand whenever it fits your schedule. First topic of the day, guys, the Browns and the Steelers on Monday night. Deshaun Watson was brought to Cleveland to be an elite franchise quarterback. He has more guaranteed dollars on his deal than every other player in the NFL. One of the things we've seen since he's been here has been mediocre play. We have not seen that elite guy. How much longer do we have to go before we see the elite quarterback we thought we were getting, before we start to lose trust in who this guy is?
Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. I think we'll see steps towards it this week, and then I think it fully blooms next week against Tennessee. I will say this, you start to wonder, is he going to start pressing and wanting to throw the ball more? Last week, I thought he had great decision-making when he decided, hey, the run's working, it's raining, let's stick with that. And is there going to come a point where he's like, well, everybody wants me to put up big numbers. I haven't done it through 7 games. Maybe I should throw it here. Maybe I shouldn't audible to the run. I'm not worried about that. He wanted to leave Houston because they were losers. He wants to win. He's made good decisions last week. I think that will continue. The passing game and his statistics will come, and I think he will prove this year that he is once again an elite quarterback.
The longer it takes to get to that game, I think it's fair to question when it's coming. And we haven't seen it. We've had 6 games last year in the opener, and he hasn't been the quarterback that we were promised. That's just the reality of it. Doesn't mean he can't get back to that. We just haven't seen it yet. So until it does happen, I think it's fair to wonder, what exactly did the Browns sign up for with that $230 million? I don't worry about him not making the right play. He's always going to make the right play. If you look deep into the numbers, I'm not going to bore you with all the numbers, but if you look deep into the numbers of the first half Sunday, the Browns' entire game plan was to take shots down the field, big chunk plays, hit the home run balls. It didn't happen, whether it was weather. Felt like he was off just a half a click. They dialed things back in the second half. They went to the game plan that was going to win them the game. Hand the ball off to Nick Chubb, run the ball, short passes, and get out of Cleveland Browns Stadium with the victory, which they did. He does have the potential, obviously, for a 300-yard passing, 3-touchdown game. I'm not going to predict when it's going to happen. It very well could be Monday night. It may take a little bit longer than that. I'm just saying the longer it takes to get back to that, it's fair to wonder what the Browns really got with that.
Well, listen, I'm not second-guessing it. I'm all in the Kool-Aid. Shout out to the Kool-Aid Mafia. I will tell you this. Deshaun Watson wanted to come out against the Cincinnati Bengals and throw the football. But guess what? It was raining. It was terrible out. And just go look at Joe Burrow's stats. I thought Deshaun Watson was pressing a little bit, but the great thing about the Cleveland Browns offense is you can hand the ball to Nick Chubb, and he has time to develop that. You hand the ball to Nick Chubb, and you continue to run the football, but I'm going to tell you what, out there in Cleveland, trust me, behave. Deshaun Watson is going to break out on the biggest stage Monday Night Football against the Steelers team that they can dominate with, and I think you're going to see a lot of rocking and rolling with Deshaun Watson. Let's go.
I hope so. I love that celebration, by the way.
Awesome. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it just matches.
Tribute to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I loved it. So we're not big on excuses here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We rarely use them. Excuses are for losers.
No doubt.
So in that vein, we have said, whether it's an excuse or not, well, last year he had 6 games at the end of the year. It was Jacoby's offense because he piloted it the first 11. It wasn't the real offense that we want to see Deshaun Watson in. Okay, so we wrote off 6 bad games. And then this year we said, well, yeah, it rained the whole game, and the best quarterback in the NFL, or one of, looked even worse. So we haven't seen the real Deshaun Watson because of that. Well, no more excuses if that's what they were. He's going to have a big game Monday night because he has to. This is the biggest game of his professional career. Bull, I know you think I'm nuts because he's played in playoff games.
You said that yesterday. It's
Right.
not the biggest game of his career.
It is. It is.
No, that's insanity. But
Our friend Aditi agreed with me.
she's as nuts as you are.
Oh, that's good to know.
You guys are nuts together.
That's good to know.
But listen, I think the reality is he's never going to put up quite the numbers he did in Houston because this team's a better team and they have a better running game. But if he's going to be worth the money, if we want to talk about it from a money perspective, but more importantly, if he's going to be worth the trade to lead them deep into the playoffs, he's going to have some games where he puts the team on his back and throws for 300-plus yards. He has to do that. Not every week, but he needs to have those games.
This is a national stage.
Yes.
It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's to move to 2-0 and 2-0 in the division. They don't get any bigger than this, Deshaun Watson, unless you're playing deep in the playoffs. He's got to have a breakout game on Monday night, and I think he will. Now, you can parse this game a million ways. There's a lot of matchups that are very, very interesting. The matchup of the Browns' defensive line and the Steelers' offensive line is the most intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Why? And who wins that battle?
Oh, well, it's intriguing because the Steelers line is horrible. When you talk about lineup for lineup, defensive lineman for defensive lineman, there's nobody touching the Cleveland Browns right now. And I like the 49ers. Myles Garrett with his new dribble moves, his dribble package in 2K, no one's stopping that. Zadarius Smith is doing his thing. Overall, above 90 in pass rush grades and pressures. The Cleveland Browns will obviously dominate this up front. And just look how Joe Burrow looked moving around and trying to find different places. And follow that by Kenny Pickett being a second-year player. I just think when you look at it, Jason, the Browns are going to dominate that group up front.
We think we know what the Browns' offense can look like when it's rolling. We think. We haven't seen it yet. We didn't see it week 1. But we think we know. We know what the Browns' defense can look like when it's rolling because we just saw it. And in Jim Schwartz's system, the key to the whole thing working is the defensive line. It's creating the chaos up front. Defensive linemen love playing in the system, and they just get after the quarterback. It's what they do. We saw the heat that the 49ers put on the Steelers on that offensive line last week. We know it's possible for the Browns to generate that same type. I've been talking about it all week. The first play of the game when Zadarius Smith hit Joe Burrow on a three-step drop, first play of the season, Joe Burrow gets hit. I looked around the press box and said, okay, there's something different about this. And the Browns players on the field looked around and said, okay, there's something different about this. It set the tone for the entire thing. As well as the Browns defensive backs played, and I think they will play in Pittsburgh, the whole key to this thing working is the heat that they can generate on Kenny Pickett up front with the front four.
We've talked about this matchup a lot already, so I'm going to go to the other side here. The Browns' offensive line against the Steelers' defensive line. We've talked plenty about the other way. If the Steelers have any chance of staying in this game, it's T.J. Watt and the rest of the guys on that D-line, even though they're down Hayward, one of their best players.
Huge.
But they have other guys. Alonzo Highsmith's a good player. They have some other guys in their front seven that are good. The Browns' tackles are a major concern going into this game. The offensive line, if the Browns' offensive line does a good job protecting, and if Deshaun Watson does a good job of getting himself out of trouble when their tackles struggle, when his tackles struggle, because to me, that's the only way the Steelers stay in this game is if they make Deshaun Watson uncomfortable or they are able to, shut down Nick Chubb, which they have at times from Pittsburgh. If that happens, then the Browns have then the Steelers have a chance. If it doesn't, they got no shot.
All right, coming up, yesterday, Deshaun Watson turns 28. we give him presents. When the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on Channel 3 comes right back. Sports Show. It is our debut on Channel 3. Make us a habit. We'll be here every Friday throughout the football season, 12:30 to 1. Happy birthday, Deshaun Watson. You're getting so big. 28 years old. We're giving him birthday presents. Bull, what you got?
So I have a time machine. You guys didn't know this, but I secretly have a time machine in my garage. So what I'm doing for Deshaun is I'm going to go in my time machine, go back a decade to 2013. I'm going to go to Berea. I'm going to go to the field. I'm going to grab, because I'm much stronger than these guys, I'm going to grab Joe Thomas in my left arm. I'm going to grab Mitchell Schwartz in my right arm. And I am pulling them with me into the time machine. And we are coming back to 2023. And it will be 2013, Joe Thomas, Mitchell Schwartz, playing tackle for the Browns. They would have the greatest offensive line ever.
Can the three of you fit in a DeLorean?
Yeah, we'll make it.
And
It's
can
not
it get
a
up to
DeLorean.
86 miles
I don't
an
have
hour?
a DeLorean. I can't reveal. It's a different type of vehicle.
Different
I
technology.
can't reveal it. I give too much away.
All
but
right.
I'm taking those guys. Great protection on the
G, what do you got?
That's pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mail Deshaun Watson a VHS tape of all of the great plays that he's made throughout his career. All of them in Clemson, all of them with the Houston Texans. And the reason I'm doing that is to remind you that you're that guy. Don't worry about it. You got it, bro. We know what you do. You are that dude. You are him, as we say in the hood. Make sure you can get back to that by sometimes reminding yourself, look, I'm good. I'm nice. I can get back there.
I like that idea.
I like the reminder. What you got, Jason?
Mine's very simple. I'm giving a gift to Deshaun and all of Greater Cleveland with a dome stadium. The whole reason Deshaun didn't want to come here in the first place was because of the weather. It scared him off. He originally told Cleveland no, and $230 million convinced him that cold weather ain't so bad after all. But a dome stadium, he played in one in Houston. He's used to warm weather. All of Cleveland can enjoy it. Nothing like watching football when it's 71 degrees and sunny.
Man, that is so true.
Yeah.
Mine's very simple. I'm giving him a set of earplugs. He's going to need them in Pittsburgh. They're ready for him. I mean, it's always going to be different wherever he goes from now on, but it's extra when he goes to Pittsburgh. All right, happy birthday, Deshaun. Now go out and play ball on Monday night. We're taking a break. When we come back, we're playing a great game. It's very, very simple the way this works. We have two options. We ask, what's more likely? Stay with us. Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We've been around for about 18 months. If you're just catching us, we're going to be here every Friday throughout the football season, 12:30 to 1. We're talking about the matchup to come every week. And obviously this week, it won't happen until Monday. It's the Browns. It's the Steelers. It's the biggest rivalry. It is what it is. We're going to play a little game here. McNuggets is going to give us a couple of stats. We're going to pick what's more likely. What's the first one?
Very simple. I give you two options. You guys have sent me your answers. We're going to discuss what's more likely to happen on Monday Night Football against the Steelers. The first question, what is more likely to happen on Monday night? Deshaun Watson throws for more than 325 yards or fewer than 175. We had a split answer. G and Bull said over 325. Jay and Jason said under 175. G, you want to start off and tell us why you went with the over?
It's obvious, man. You're sponsored by Black Cherry Kool-Aid. I'm all in on Deshaun Watson. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. You should too. 325 is going to be easy money. I told you in the earlier segment that Deshaun Watson breaks out. There should be no rain. If it is, we'll be okay. We've adjusted. He's going to throw the football. He got his receivers hanging out after practice. Extra film work. Deshaun Watson has the whole city and the country watching. He's going to step up to the occasion.
Deshaun's time in Cleveland would make you believe that the 175 is more likely. I think both are unlikely in this game, but for this game against this team, if I had to choose, I'd go with the more that, has the breakout game and busts over the
Because of
325.
Pittsburgh's defense?
Yes. Well, just Pittsburgh in general. I think it's about his time to come through, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
For the record, I'm with you. I don't think either one of these is going to happen.
I don't either.
He's going to be over 175, but I don't think he's going to get to 325. So I took the under. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen Deshaun 325 in a Browns jersey. So until it happens, I'll just keep taking the under.
Yeah, it's funny because I came at this the same exact way. I think Deshaun Watson's going to have his breakout game. I think when it's all said and done, we'll look at his numbers and the result and say, that's more like the guy we thought we were getting. However, to make the leap to 325 when we have a running back in the backfield in Nick Chubb that's going to get 100, that's a big, big ask.
Yeah.
I mean, 325 for anybody is a big number. Yeah. And like you, more often than not, he's been around the 175 number. So I think it's going to be somewhere in between. But if I had to choose, and I do, I'm going to say it's more likely than not he's below 175.
Next up, Zadarius Smith. We just talked about the Steelers' offensive line being porous, allowing 5 sacks last week to the 49ers. So what's more likely to happen on Monday Night Football? 1.5 or more sacks for Zadarius Smith, or a goose egg? Bull, you're the only one that with a goose egg,
wow.
So you could start first.
I just think that getting 2 sacks, and that's essentially how I was looking at it, doesn't happen that often. Guys don't get 2 sacks in a game all that often. Otherwise, we'd have guys getting all these sacks. Usually the sack leader has 16, 17, 18. It's hard to get 2 sacks in a game. I certainly think it's possible, but if they play this game 100 times, I think it's more in more of those games he gets 0 than he gets 2.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I look at it like this. Zadarius Smith is a guy who had 10 sacks in Minnesota. He's a bona fide pass rusher. He has multiple moves he can use. And Jason said it earlier. Watch how he gets after Joe Burrow off the edge the first play of the game. He's going to be the beneficiary of a great Browns defensive lineman, whether it's Aronco, whether it's Dalvin Tomlinson, whether it's Myles Garrett forcing quarterbacks to him. He's going to get overflow love, and I think he's going to have over a sack and a half just by that and the line that the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying now.
It's the strength of the unit that he's playing with. This I don't think he's ever played with anybody like Myles Garrett in his career. So is it, again, it goes back to probably 2 is unlikely. I don't think he's coming away with 0, though, against the line. So I took the over on this just because of the strength of the entire unit, and I've been really impressed so far with what I've seen out of him.
Yeah, this is tough. McNuggets did a really good job, if that's what your intention was, in putting parameters that were like extreme.
Right. Yeah.
I can't see him getting no sacks. Also, to ask him to get to the quarterback twice is a big ask as well, but we had to pick. And because of what you said, not probably, this is the best player he's played with.
Yes.
Myles Garrett. And Myles is going to get his. He's going to eat. But unlike last year, everybody else is going to eat too.
Yep.
And so for that reason, I think he gets to the quarterback more than once. Hopefully it will be twice on his own, but I think, 1.5 is more likely than none in this case for Smith.
Next one up, this is a total look at the Browns' offense against Pittsburgh. Is it more likely that the Browns' offense will score 4 or more touchdowns or less than 2? This is an even 2-2 split on the panel. The always pessimistic Jason Lloyd actually went with the 4+. So, Jason, you can start. You and G
He's the
went
anti-Kool-Aid.
Bull and Jay went fewer than 2. Jason, you're up first.
Why am I catching strays? Now, less than 2 means 1. It's not equal to 2, it's 1. And I think they're going to get more than 1 touchdown. This was actually the easiest one of all. If you should have put like equal or lesser to 2.
Yeah, but now you got to make the leap that they're going to get more than 4.
Okay, but I know that. Well, fine.
I know the Steelers' defense is good, and that's why ultimately I can see
they're going to score more than 1.
I don't think it's crazy that the Browns could end up with 4 field goals and a touchdown and win this game 21-6, or whatever, 19-6. I think that's more likely than them scoring 40 points. Although I hope they score 40 points.
I would like
4
to see that
touchdowns, only
too.
28. Boy.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Math is not important.
Well, listen, 28 points. Just take into consideration here. They actually scored 24 in the rain.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a couple extra points. Deshaun Watson will be better week 2. You guys have all said don't make knee-jerk reactions during week 1. Teams make the biggest jump from week 1 to week 2. Watson will be better. Nick Chubb will be ready to go. And I think the defense is going to give them short fields because they're going to get turnovers.
I think the reality of this is all of these questions, the answer is going to be in the middle.
Right.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I feel very comfortable about that, but this is an extreme segment, and we had to pick one or the other. To your point, I'll be crushed if they don't score at least 2 touchdowns. But I just can't get to the point where they're going to score 4.
Right.
Hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So because of that, I had to pick one. I'm going to go with fewer than 2 here.
I'm flip-flopping. I'm switching to these guys. I'm flip-flopping.
Breaking
This is
news.
the first flip-flop
Come
of
on
the
in.
year.
The water's warm.
That's breaking news. You never flip-flop.
I don't.
Here you go. Go
I
ahead.
don't.
There you go.
I'm flip-flopping.
Zone team.
Four touchdowns. Bleep the Steelers.
And you never flip-flop on anything.
Yeah, right?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
They don't make 4XL flip-flops. So.
All right, let's race to break.
Inappropriate, Mike.
I love our next segment. I really do. You didn't know, but all 4 of us have a magical crystal ball. We're going to look into that crystal ball, and we are going to write the headline for Monday's game before it's played. That's next when the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show returns on WKYC. We welcome you back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We're assuming if you're watching, you're a big Cleveland Browns fan and likely a huge Cleveland sports fan. Our normal show happens 2 hours every single Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. And yes, we talk heavy Browns, but we also get into the Guardians in baseball season, the Cavs during basketball season. If you're just now being introduced to us, make us a habit. Put it in the Google bar or the navigation bar, UCSS, enter. Our content's going to come up. It's going to take you to our YouTube page. Subscribe and also like, and you can watch us every day on your own schedule. All right, guys, let's wrap it up with, I love this segment. We've been doing it. We did it all last football season. It's called Pre-Written Headlines. We write the headline before the game. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. Here's my headline. I'm picking a Browns victory, in large part because I love what their defense looked like in week 1. Different look, different mentality, different attitude with Jim Schwartz. Steel curtain, of course, a play on the old dominant Pittsburgh Steelers. We're stealing one, though. We're going to Pittsburgh and coming back with a win in the regular season for the first time since Tim Couch did it 20 years ago. It's been that long between drinks of water. The Browns come home with the win.
Listen, I agree with you. The defense will be great. And you know Myles Garrett in October always puts the quarterbacks to this front lawn. He gets excited with that. I say they start that a little earlier. The Cleveland Browns behind the D has the AFC North spooked. Browns defense scary good in 34-10 win, and we do it earlier than October. We get real scary in September. Chase?
I think you're going to see a common thread here in our headlines because we're all going defense. I think Kenny Pickett's in for a long day against the Browns on Monday night. The Browns are going to form a picket line. Get it? Get it? Picket line.
That's appropriate with the
Yes,
potential strike looming with UAW.
Right.
I think the defense is going to get him twice. I haven't put in a score. Normally I'm a coward and I don't pick scores because I don't like being wrong, even though I rarely am. So Browns win at 27-14. Yeah. I think they're going to get two interceptions of Kenny Pickett. And I just realized I said four touchdowns. I only have a 27 points, so I guess they're going to miss a field goal.
Yeah, something's not lining up there,
I'm staying consistent.
They're missing an extra point.
They're going to miss
one of those four
They're going to miss an
touchdowns.
extra point, cut the kicker, and we're right back where we were next week.
All right, guys, let's get the last step. By the way, shout out to Anthony, who does the graphics, and Earl, two key members of our team also,
job.
who have not gotten mentioned yet on the show.
Yes.
For the WKYC audience. Anthony, get my headline up there, will you? Let's go. Stop messing around already. There you go. Browns form.
That's mine.
That's not mine.
He read it as if it was his.
It's the other picket fence.
I was like Will Ferrell in that movie.
Anchorman.
Yes, thank you,
That was
Sandy.
directed
I'm Ron
Steve,
Burgundy?
Yeah.
not Anthony. Director Steve there.
Picked off. Emerson and Newsome get first interceptions, first of their careers.
Again, a lot of creativity here.
Neither one of these guys has ever had an interception. That's a bold take. 23-13 is the final. The Browns will take care of business. Love it. And by the way, can you bring up that headline? Can we bring that back up again one more time? Because if you can't, you can't. For the audience who's never been with us before, Anthony always puts a couple of things up top. Hey, look, we're on TV. Hello, WKYC audience.
Well done,
Even
Anthony.
the little things like that are pretty cool that you guys do behind the scenes. Well done.
All right,
well done.
Mikey.
Let's send it to Mikey McNuggets.
I got my headline. I had a Kenny Pickett punt at first, but once you guys sent it, I had to change it up. So my headline instead, Pittsburgh streak flames out. Little play on Pittsburgh. They've won every game in Pittsburgh in the regular season since 2003. That ends as the Steelers' offensive line gets torched and the Browns snap their skid in Pittsburgh.
There are some scary numbers coming into this. Mike Tomlin's 19-3 on Monday Night Football, and that terrifies me. But there's also another number that I think is in the Browns' favor. The Steelers' offense has not had a 400-yard game since the start of the 2021 season. That's two full seasons and into this year. Every other team in the NFL has had a 400-yard game at least 3 times.
The Browns are going to prove
Wow.
on Monday that the Steelers stink. They're going 7-10 this year. I'm back on their under 500 prediction. Mark it down right now, please.
We marked it down last year,
Shout
and it
out
was
to
wrong.
producer Steve. He's been holding us
Yeah,
down
we didn't mention
25
Steve.
years. We love you, Cleveland.
Director
WKYC.
Steve.
every Monday through Friday on YouTube, 11 to 1. We will see you after the Browns win Monday night. We have a post-game show, too.
Peace.